My name is Katie. I am from Utah, and right now I'm studying journalism and photography.
Here we are. Oh my God, this is so crazy. 1 year later, literally almost like a full year, right? Because like, when did we shave
Yeah,
exactly? Do you
we
remember?
on Thanksgiving of last year, so November
Okay.
24th.
Well, we're not gonna wait until then because we're here. Um, but your hair looks amazing, and I'm sure you have a
Oh,
lot
thanks.
to tell about your experience of being bald and growing out your hair. Um, the first question I asked you was, why did you decide to shave?
Whew. Um, that's a good question. Well, I wasn't really planning on it, really at all. And then the day came, and I thought back to my old horseback rider trainer lady. She's awesome, and she was telling me why she chose to shave her head, and it was really not a huge reason. She just didn't have a good relationship with her hair, but when she did it, she said it was the most empowering thing she's ever done, and she's never felt more like a woman, and it was always really intriguing to me. And so I kind of was thinking about that day, and it was also all the energy that day, the positivity, and I just thought I had always wanted to do it once in my life, so now's the perfect time to do it.
Um, well, it was an interesting kind of journey for me because I mean, I said back then, like, oh, I didn't really have a reason. Someone just told me like it was a really cool thing for them to do to like, I don't know, find more of themselves. And once I did it and I got back home and I wasn't surrounded by like all the positivity on the ship and like everyone else who did it and all my little support group, like I always had to like tell people a reason of why I did it, like give an excuse as to why. And I couldn't just say I wanted to do this. And I thought that was like not a good enough reason. Um and and so I would always say like, oh, like um I don't know. I don't remember what I said. But there would always be a reason. And so it was just interesting looking back at that. I'm like, there wasn't a reason. I just wanted to do it. And I knew it would be like really empowering for me. I knew it would be a journey and I knew it would be something, and it was always something that I wanted to do. And so I just think that it felt right. And that's why I did it. And so I don't think that answer has changed since then, but I do think that the journey of what I tell people after that has changed. And now that I've kind of like after looking back, um, after time went on, it kind of reverted back to I just did it because I wanted to. And so it was just a process of getting that confidence back and realizing like that's a valid answer.
I had asked you at that very moment after you had shaved, which I think was the same day you shaved that maybe not. I think it was like 2 or 3 days maybe
Yeah,
later.
I think it was but like the same emotions were still there. So
Right, right, right. It was
yeah.
definitely right after like shaving. I
Yeah.
asked you, how do you feel right now? So I don't know. I'm sure you don't remember how you felt, or maybe you did, but this is what you said.
I feel like the high from that day has kind of ended. um, I was just telling Nat and Shane earlier, but I had a little bit of a little. I mean, there were no tears, but I was just like, "What did I just do?" Like, I was looking at pictures on my phone, and I had some long blonde hair, and it's gone now. Um, so it was a little bit of a what did I just do? And I was like looking up photos. Like, how long does it take to go back? But I'm honestly fine now. It was just a little moment. So I think it'll definitely come with some ups and downs. But right now I'm doing good.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Um, hmm, I predicted right. I mean, there were some serious up and downs, and I know it sounds so cliche, but it was a literal crazy roller coaster ever. There were some days where I was just like, get this off my head. Like, I'm having the worst day ever. I want my long hair back. And it was those days where I wanted my long hair back that I just like realized how much I hid behind my hair. And I was just like, I need it for my confidence. I need it for like people to notice me. Like, I just need it. Um, and there were some sucky days. And, but then there were some days where I just was like, I'm so cool. Like, I just did that. Um, and so I don't know. It was like right now I feel really good. Like I'm 100% glad I did it. But there were some days where I just wanted to turn back time so bad. I was like, why on earth would I do that? I look so dumb. Like, um, and especially when I moved back home to Utah, I knew like some of the people in my community would just be like, why did she do that? Um, and there were, I mean, I talked about one mental breakdown, but like I had so many more. Why, especially in the early stages.
I'm glad, that you realize that those challenges are also necessary, That's why, again,
Yeah,
it's just, it is a hard journey, but in my opinion, it's necessary. I, I don't know.
yeah,
I mean, we'll get to this question later, but, you know, to me, it was necessary. To me, to who I am today, I would not be who I am without that journey. And I'm really grateful that I
yeah,
went through that. So, but yeah,
me too.
I'm glad to hear. And the next question, which is like similar, was how do you feel beautiful right now?
I I do. I really do. Again, I feel like it'll come in waves, but I do feel beautiful.
I do, and not just because my hair has started to grow back. I just feel like kind of a whole different person in terms of like how I think of myself and going through those hard stages. I kind of had to learn to love myself even when I felt horrible about the way I looked and kind of had to look more, it sounds cheesy, but like look more within. Um, and that was huge. And so I feel like in that video, now looking back, I just feel like I was saying what I wanted myself to hear, just so maybe I felt better about the decision. I didn't know there was that much hesitation. Um, but yeah, I I mean, looking back, I don't know if I felt it at the time, but I was trying to convince myself that I did. Um, but I definitely do now.
But I'm glad that you can see that now.
Thanks.
The next question, which is gonna be interesting. I wanna hear the answer from now. But it's, have you gotten any comments about your hair or decision?
Mm,
Um, I've received I mean, I guess we are in a special situation right now, but all the comments I've received have been positive. Um, I have heard some negative ones from other girls, but I haven't really received those. I'm kind of nervous though, going home to my little conservative state of Utah and seeing what people think. I also have not told my parents or any of my friends, so that's gonna be exciting.
oh man, that was me before I told anyone. Um, whoa. Okay, yeah, this is the big one. I think that when I told, well, at least when I told my parents, I just FaceTimed them when we got to like Kenya or something. I don't remember. And they were in shock. They didn't even know what to say because I didn't even tell them that Neptune Day was like even a thing. Like what? Um, but they liked it. They were like, "You look good no matter what." So I was like, "Cool." But the comments. So I went back to Utah and I realized like that. So before I shaved my head, I would get more compliments from guys than I would from girls, and that was uh, the normal thing. But then when I shaved my head, the compliments or the comments from guys just like stopped, and the girls like shot up, and that was super interesting. And because every time the girls complimented me, it was more of you're like that's so badass, or like you're so brave to do that, and it felt better in terms of compliment wise because it wasn't really about my hair. Like it was more about me as a person. And I think it shows in a sense that how much power your hair holds in terms of your looks too, from like the guy's perspective looking at it like that, or the girls looking at it like that's so sick. Um, and so as it's grown out, it's been interesting to see how those compliments kind of switch or they kind of level out. And it took like maybe this was just because I was at home or whatever, but it took a good 2, 3, 4 months for a guy to even say anything about my hair. And so that was really interesting. And so that took a toll on me as well, in the sense that I, I did have long blonde hair, and that was like a huge part of me. And so when a lot of those comments kind of stopped it, I kind of had to, again, like I was saying before, kind of supply that self-love and um, for myself and not rely on other people for that. And I think that was a huge part of my growth. I also, going back to like going home to a conservative state or whatever, I like my friends were fine with it, and they would say stuff about like what other people had said that I do know, and they're like, why would you do that, why would she do that? And I'm just like, they don't need it. Like, I'm not here to make them feel comfortable about what I did with my hair. Like, that's not my job. I can do whatever I want, and they can have all the opinions in the world, but it really just boils down to what I think of myself and what I want to do. So, yeah.
That's a very thoughtful answer. It makes me so happy. Yeah, I think what you said about how now you had to rely on your own source of love rather than society's. I think that's literally like the epitome. Is that how you say it? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
of the journey, right? It's like it's not just feeling, let's say, like ugly because society tells you that hair makes you beautiful, but it's also like that not relying on external validation. So the next question I asked you was, are you scared of anything going forward?
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Coming from a really conservative state and just people around me, um, I do worry a little bit and what they're gonna think. Um, I was telling people this last night, but just a little side story. But my ex-boyfriend, um, we all would always joke about like, oh, would you still love me if I shaved my head? And he's like, well, I would have to think about it. And he was serious. um, and so I kind of, this is like super empowering for me because I'm just like, doesn't matter. You're like, it's good.
um, like from now, or like do like reflect back on stuff.
Yeah, so I would say like that was your answer to that question then. So I would say, did those how did those fears play out? You know, like did you get any new fears? Did you overcome them easily? Did you,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah, interesting question. Um, it's so funny that I brought up that comment. Yeah, it was more that fear that I going back home, I kind of talked about that a little bit already. And the fear of like what people will think of me. But when I came home, I start because I needed to make money because I wanted to like go back out and travel. And so I was like, the fastest way right now is to like babysit. And I was babysitting and I was terrified to take off my hat. I was like, what are these moms gonna think of me? I can't be bald and like babysit their children. Like that has any connotation. I don't know if they were gonna think it was not good or so I didn't take off my hat for like a long time. And I slowly got the confidence to do it. And um that was like one of the scariest things ever. I don't know why. But once I did, that was like really empowering. And it was actually kind of funny because I had these kids be like, these 3-year-olds be like, why do you have no hair on your head? Like, where did it go? And I was like, that was again, it made me learn like it doesn't matter if they're 3, like, come on. Um, so it just takes time, and there was like new fears that came up along the way of like I would like plan, I would kind of plan ahead and be like, what would my hair look like? This is so bad. What would my hair look like then for like this event that I'm going to, and if it would be like okay. And I think like going like after I do it, I'm like, it didn't matter. Like just do it, live your life, and your hair literally shouldn't play a part in what you're doing. And I don't know if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah,
Um,
it
but I
does.
think like yeah, I think little fears just came up along the way, and I kind of conquered them one by one, and it's just kind of taught me like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's interesting also with the kids because I remember my friend this summer we went to Colombia and these kids were just asking her like, why are you bald? Why do you have no hair? Or like they would be like,
Um,
oh, is she a woman? Like, and they're kids, they're curious.
mhm,
So it's you can't even be mad at them or like, you know,
yeah,
treat them as if like what they're saying is wrong. But it's also a situation to deal with, right? Like how do you deal with kids who are genuinely curious and who are taught that these are social norms to have long hair or
yeah,
whatever? So it's good that you
definitely.
brought that up as well. Yeah. But yeah, um, the next question was what went through your head while you were shaving?
Oh,
Um, ooh, good question. It was went through my head. I just remember thinking I was really confident with my decision, but I was also just feeling like and thinking, what did I just do? Like I was holding the hair in my hand, and I was like, this is my hair that is so familiar to me, just not on my head anymore. And so that was the weirdest feeling ever. But I felt really good. When like the first shave happened, there's almost a sense of relief. It's just like, oh, it's just hair, you know. Um, and again, there was a lot of positive energy then, but it was just hair, and I thought that was kind of cool.
I did want to show you a video of you shaving your head. Do you want to see it?
yeah, I would love to.
Okay.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so crying. You look beautiful. Maybe I'll cry later.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Oh my gosh, that made me emotional. I haven't watched
Oh,
that video in so long. Um, whoa. Yeah, I mean you can see me the whole time being like, what did I just do? Um, yeah, I mean, having I don't think I would have done it if Natalie wasn't there next to me. So yeah, I don't know. You can also see me with my hair. It's my hair. That was a lot of hair. Um, but yeah. Sorry, that made me kind of emotional. I don't know. I just look back on myself and having gone through a year of like having so many emotional moments of like, why do I look like this? And then I look back on myself that day and I'm just like, I was so beautiful. And it took me so long to realize how beautiful I was with a shaved head. And like as each day goes by, it's just like I freaking rocked that. And I'm sad that I didn't see that at the time.
but this is what the journey is for, you know. And
Yeah.
I thank you so much for being a part of this. Like it makes me so happy. Apart from like the growth that I can like see in myself from you, it's just so nice to see your growth. And even bro, my cheeks hurt because every time I see people's videos of shaving, like that energy that was there that day, I'm like this watching the computer and it hurts because I'm sweating so much.
I
But
do also want to say, like, I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for you. Like, if I probably already said that on the ship, but like looking back, and I was telling Paul this like a few weeks ago too, like, I literally watched your little presentation on your video. It's like, I was thinking about it, but like, if I didn't have you there that day, or like just you explaining why it would be so good, like, I wouldn't have done it. So, thank you so much.
I'm glad. Thank you. After we have watched your video shaving, we continue with the questions. We're almost done. So thank you for
Okay,
bearing with
no
me.
worries. Of
Um,
course.
the next question. Sorry, I need to like find it. Okay. The next question was, would you recommend this to other women?
I feel like this point right now is a little hard to tell, just because my emotions are still a little all over the place. Um, so I don't know if I can answer that right now.
All right. At this point in your journey in your life, would you recommend this to other women?
Yeah, I mean, that answer that I gave was definitely accurate. My emotions were like way too all over the place to answer. Um, but I honestly wouldn't recommend anything more than that. And I'm not saying that it's for everyone to like find themselves. Like if you genuinely just don't want to do it, it's fine. But if you've been thinking about it and you think like that would be cool, like just do it because you'll just of course you'll go through the ups and downs, but it's like those downs are what's gonna get you to grow the most and get you to find yourself a little bit more. And I honestly have never gone through like anything harder in my life. And and I say that and then I look at it, I'm just like, it's hair, but hair holds so much power. And it's just like that was really hard. So if you're up for the challenge, like just do it. And you'll just get great things out of it.
Yeah. I was curious. I mean, again, you have to experience it before you can really recommend it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's like nothing like it. You won't ever experience something that kind of vulnerable in your life. And I think that's pretty special to be able to have that feeling and be able
Yeah.
to experience it at least once.
Yeah. Um, so the last question. It wasn't really a question. It was a message from your future self.
Okay.
So this is what 1 year ago Katie says to you.
Message for my future self. We did it. um, I just want to say that I'm really proud of you, and you stuck it out, and you're going through this journey, and it'll all be good in the end. I hope it's good. um, but yeah, just keep keep being spontaneous. Keep living life how you want to live it, and why not?
We did do it. Woo! That was cute. Yeah. Um, I guess that just proves that we can make it through hard things, no matter what is going on. Just keep going, because you'll never get to experience that again, or at least probably not. So just kind of proves for anything in life, like, just kind of don't take any stage or moment for granted, because it's all important and it all leads to the big picture of things and yourself and your growth.
I'm so proud of you, and I'm really, really happy to see you. You're rocking the hair, and you're beautiful. And honestly, it's so. I feel like it's also crazy to do this interview because it's not just an interview of like some bald girls, and then when they grow their hairs out, it's like people who I spend time with and I shaved with, so it's
It's like a
I don't know.
personal
Yeah,
connection there. This is a
yeah.
brilliant idea.
Oh,
Like,
thank you.